Welcome to the Goddess Show podcast, voices of visionary women, inspiring female leaders by interviewing amazing guests to encourage us all to rise up. Enjoy. Hello, and welcome to the Goddess Show podcast, voices of visionary women, inspiring female leaders. And I'm so happy to have Wale with us here today. And you look so gorgeous in pink fur. Thank you for joining us.
I know we're matching. I
I
love
know,
that.
kindred spirits. I love it.
We're in
So,
alignment.
so for our listeners and viewers, I'm going to tell you about Fur because she is quite amazing. Fur Wale is a learning and development consultant, keynote speaker, and founder of She Talks, working across education, corporate, government, and community sectors. Her work advances women and young people into leadership and into the right rooms where decisions and meaningful change occur. Fur works with women speakers to author their signature talks and develop the speaking assets required to be booked and paid to speak. She
Correct.
specialises in communication and personal leadership, guiding women and youth to be guided by their potential and speak with presence and authenticity. Fur believes personal leadership is foundational to lasting change, fueling a future where more women lead across every sector and sphere of influence, and this work will be her greatest legacy. So welcome, Fur, and I'm a huge advocate for female leadership because we, as well as men and what they bring to the table, us women are nurturing. We're into collaboration. We're great business women. You know that they're the facts. I mean, look at the statistics. So I think we have great potential to be leaders. So welcome
Absolutely.
aboard. Without
Thank
further
you.
without further ado, I'm going to ask you the first question, which is a little bit personal. So I ask that you share whatever you like with us. And it is, what would you say are some of the biggest personal obstacles you've overcome on your way to success, and how did you do it? Is there something that really stands out for you?
Something. Is there ever something? Yes, I've overcome a lot of obstacles, Tula. I'd say the biggest obstacle started when I was 16. Actually, it started when I was 10, when I was being. Now, this is a little bit of a trigger warning, but it's important that I tell this about where I've been and where I've come and how I overcame that and end up where I am today. At the age of 10, I started getting groomed by my dad's best friend. And then when I was 16, my mum passed from cancer, and my dad tried to take his life with his own police handgun.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, huge for a 16-year-old. My two brothers were 15 and 10. So I stepped into my mum's role. Now, I didn't want to. I wanted someone to scoop me up and put all my pieces back together, but there was no one to put my pieces back together. My beliefs were shattered. I didn't know what to think, who to trust, who to go to. And in fact, whenever I did go to someone, they were full, so full with their own pain and their own confusion that they sent me away, including adults. So I fortunately was such a voracious reader when I was younger, and I was into, uh, well, in our lounge room, we had this huge, much like I've got behind me, but much longer, much bigger bookshelf. And I would sit on the floor and just pull out a book and start reading it. And I was really drawn to the metaphysical, philosophy, and ontology. So, how do humans work and how do we function in the world? So, I actually realized I had a bit of a toolkit going on already. So, I had to overcome more than the rape, the molestation, more than the abuse, more than the being isolated and abandoned and the loss and the fear and the confusion. What I had to overcome were my beliefs that my life was over and that I should give up. I had to overcome beliefs of not knowing where to put my trust. So, what I did was I kind of did it like trying on a new jacket with a belief that if I put my trust in this one person and just see where that went, I might be okay. And that's what I did. I just tried on beliefs. And if they didn't work for me, I'd drop them like they were hot and I'd try on a new belief. And then I'd just started creating my life from nothing, from the rubble. I just started putting the pieces back together all by myself. Yeah. So it was a lot to overcome because you can imagine after such dramatic trauma like that and having no one to go to and being sent away, I was anxious. I went from confident to anxious.
Mm.
I went from outgoing to reserved, shy, and I just hid myself away. So I overcame all of that through my belief system. Yeah,
I have to say, listening to you, that um, so many things stand out. I mean, the first thing that stands out to me is the fact that you were forced to become an adult when you were a child, that you went through such trauma and that you had absolutely no one. Um, uh, and that, there was someone in the family that groomed you and then took advantage of you. And it's something that I can totally relate to because I had an event when I was 13. And I think many of our listeners and viewers can relate to situations like that. And the effect it had on me was, that I had nightmares for 16 years, panic attacks,
absolutely.
all of that. And what really stands out to me though with you, Fer, is that somehow your inner resolve led you to read all those books and build a toolkit,
Mm.
which was such a gift from the universe in a way. It wasn't it that you had something, you relied on those books, and those books gave you tools, and you had the tenacity to then put on different jackets and throw them away when they didn't work, which is really quite admirable because it's not that easy to do. Trust is not an easy thing. So I applaud you for that. And I just want to say a huge thank you for, I'm so honored, and I'm sure our listeners and viewers will be as well, to hear your story. And I'm sorry you went through that. But having said that, I also believe that these are the trials and tribulations that make us who we are. So,
Absolutely. And I couldn't agree with you more, Tula. And I wouldn't give it back for the world now. When I was in it, of course. But the thing is, it's interesting because I look back on it and I at first went, wow, where did I get the courage? How did I access all of that? And then what I came to realize is that, well, apart from what was modeled around me, which it was with my parents,
mm,
apart from that, there's a primal wisdom that is within all of us that is accessed through us. And I was forced into a position to tap into my own resources because I had nothing, not one person, nowhere to go. There was nothing set up in those days. There were no classes, or I didn't know where to go for counseling. And in fact, I did see a counselor through the school, and they pretty much told me just to put it to the side and get on with my life and get good
really?
grades.
And that
Oh,
was
yeah,
a
really.
counselor.
That was a counselor through the school. Yeah,
Wow.
correct. So I only had me to rely on. And then what started happening was I realized I had all of these resources within me that I could access. And
Mm,
I got to know that, we can choose what to believe, we
mm,
can choose the direction of our lives. And that I learned a really good thing, which is because the body wants to keep itself safe, we want to just make everyone untrustworthy. And then I was fortunate to see that that was just one part of me that
mm.
functioned to keep me safe.
Yeah.
And that if I chose to, I could override that operating system. I could choose to take the steering wheel and direct my life. And then when I didn't have the wherewithal or the confidence, or I felt really anxious, I could go back and sit in my room and keep myself safe until I was ready to venture out again. Yeah.
Well, I think that's really valuable advice
Mm.
for our listeners and viewers as well. And such a great operating system you had there. And,
We've all got it. We've
yes,
all
we've
got it.
all got it. And that's the thing. It's a reminder for all of us to tune in to who we really are, because when we do, we realize that we are strong enough. And actually, all these events that test us, and it's amazing, amazing how resourceful we can become when push comes to shove, when we're pushed against the wall. Okay, well, what are my choices? What do I do now? There's always a choice.
There is always choice. Look, not everyone is set up to make the courageous choice, and I have witnessed many people in my life who have come from, let's say, nothing, no support from their family. Look, in my family, we were all given a voice, and we were part of the decision making in the family. So that's an amazing, in fact, not amazing, it's a profound foundation for a child to have.
Yeah,
So I had that place.
that's great.
So I did have something to step off from, but that was in hindsight. At the time, I didn't think I did, of course.
Mm.
But there are people, and I've met them, who they've had narcissistic parents or abusive parents or alcoholic or drug addict parents, or they were molested by their parents. So they don't have that foundation in the first place. However, there's something I learned through my journey, and then because I did actually go on to work with people who'd been through either domestic abuse or uh, uh,
Child
sexual
sex abuse.
abuse. Yeah, I realized that it didn't matter what you'd experienced or what you didn't know, meaning even if you didn't have that positive foundation, it didn't matter. There was a place within us that we could always come back to. Now, I'd found that for myself, and I was really surprised that it was still there and it was always going to be there no matter what happened. And I could come back to it. And then when I started working with particularly women,
Yeah.
I was running an art group behind closed doors for women from the Centre of Sexual Assault. And I realized that they too had that same place, their own place within them. And then that's what I started imparting. That's what I started sharing, but not as a coaching or telling them, but as a here's my story and here's what I discovered. And
Yeah.
then they got to take it on for themselves and have a look. And every single one would come back to me and say, I didn't believe you, but you're right. No matter what I've been through, no matter what I don't know, there's this place within, yeah, that I can access. Yeah. And it's safe, it's whole, it's loving, it has all the answers. It's always there, supporting us.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that. We do have our answers, don't we? We have the answer to every single
Everything.
question.
Yeah, everything.
And that sounds like great work. And what a great example too, to lead by example.
Well, I think and you understand this when you've been through something like that and you come out the other side, the only thing you want to do is to share with people
Yeah.
what's possible. Yeah. Yeah, you want to
Oh,
be a
that's
voice. You want to step
fantastic.
in and be that leader. I mean, and give other people the opportunity to come through those doors of possibility. Yeah.
That's fantastic. And, something comes to mind, which is about the biggest question to ask when faced with huge obstacles. Because a lot of us say, why did this happen? Or how did this happen? Whose fault is it? But if we changed the conversation and then asked, okay, so this has happened, what now? What should we do now? You know, then the whole world opens up, doesn't it?
It
It really,
does.
really does.
Well,
But
like I
anyway,
said to
let's
you,
get
go
on.
on, go on, go on.
Let's get on with the
All
interview
right,
because
good.
because I want to hear more about you. So I want to, well, we have been hearing about you. And I thank you for all of our listeners and viewers. But right now, I want to ask you about your business. What were the first few steps you took to get your business up and running and why you're passionate about it?
Yeah, sure. Because I felt like my voice had been stolen from me. And I used to be very confident and outgoing. And actually, I used to be the kid in primary school. After reading a book, I would run out to the grounds and start sharing with my friends what I'd read. And a whole crowd of kids would gather around because they were so interested in the information. So that was me, but then I felt like that was gone. As I said, I used to just be really quiet and awkward. Running the art group with these women, this was through the Port Phillip Council here in Melbourne, in St Kilda. And they said to me, Fer, you're really confident, which is funny because behind closed doors, yes. They said, we want you to get on the stage and talk about these women, share their stories and how the funding has helped them, the grant has helped them. And I got forced into it. I ended up agreeing. I got on the stage. There are 1,000 people in the main hall. There are all these officials in front of me, people taking, like, media taking photos. And I was so quiet
How
and I
did you
went
do it?
bright red. I went bright red, but it filled something inside of me that was missing. And when I got off stage, I made a decision. I'm doing this whether I like it or not. I have a message to share and it's important. And when I did move around the room, because they said, we've got to, I call it work the room afterwards because people want access to you.
Yeah,
They have something to say,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And people were saying, I needed to hear that. I need to hear that. I needed to hear that. And I said, okay. And I felt it light me up in a way that I hadn't been lit up for a long time. And it became my purpose. It's my mission. And now my mission is, as you said, putting more women into the right rooms where, change happens. And not just women, youth as well,
I think it's
empowering
really
youth.
important for
Yeah.
youth as well. That sounds fantastic. And you know what? What comes to mind there for me is the fact that you were forced into public speaking in front of all these people, but you loved it because in that moment, from what I hear, you realized that you had something to say that would really help other people. So what sounds like what it sounds like to me, what happened was you tuned into the service, going into service for other people. And that's actually the biggest, teaching public speaking, and that public speaking is one of the two biggest fears people have, but it's only because they worry about themselves. But if you think about what you just did, which is what going into service for other people and communicating your story to help other people is actually the biggest tool to overcome the fear of public speaking.
It's the
In my,
biggest
in
tool to
my,
transform. When you've done most of the work for transforming trauma, it's actually the best thing you can do is take
talk
everything
about
you
it.
know and share it.
Yeah.
Um, it's transforming the I to the we, and we
Yes.
must move out of the I.
Yes.
The I work is important. It's transforming the trauma. It's the first step in tapping into our potential. But then we don't move, if I didn't move into the we, I'd never be where I am today and working with the kind of people that I'm working with today. You just wouldn't, because you're still the I, yeah, you can't reach people that way.
That's
Mm.
such an important message. Thank you so much for sharing that. You're such an inspiration, Fer.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so next, I want to ask you in business, what have been your biggest challenges so far?
This is funny. I don't really look at my business as having any challenges because I feel like it was channeled through me. I feel like setting it up was easy. I just tapped in and knew the next steps. Women came to me. My workshops were full from the beginning. I made money right from the beginning. I had access to beautiful venues for low cost. All my overheads were low. Everything just was, honestly, and I've never said this before because would never want someone to feel like, well, if I'm struggling, then I mustn't be in the right place. No, that's their experience that they need to have.
That's right.
My experience was that it was meant to come together fast so
Mm.
that I could serve fast and
Yeah.
serve a huge number of women. I know that. So, what challenges I had along the way, though, were personal.
Mm.
So, stepping into my leadership was really a challenge for me, and feeling like I had a right to speak about myself a lot because you need to.
Mm.
And I would never have become a public speaker except for the fact that I do enjoy sharing with people and I knew I had a mission.
Mm.
Otherwise, I'd just go and have a nice life. and make up for all of the other awful stuff that happened. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was overcoming, stepping into my leadership. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's a big one, isn't it? Because
Yes.
a lot of a very common issue that a lot of us face or women face is feeling like a fraud. That's a big one. But actually, what you were saying reminded me of you've heard of Dr. Deepak Chopra?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what you described as not having any challenges and falling into it and everything going so smoothly sounds to me like something Dr. Deepak Chopra used to say or says, which is when you're on the right path, everything falls into place when you're
Mm.
doing what you're supposed to
Right.
be doing.
Right.
So that sounds exactly like that.
Thank you.
That sounds fantastic. Okay, so my next question to you is, how do you keep motivated through difficult times?
It's my mission. I'm so driven. Um, yes, I have to give myself a pep talk sometimes. Sometimes I have to acknowledge I need a day off and it's okay not to do work. But it's all that self-talk. It really works for me. But I do things like I meditate, I get good sleep, I eat really healthy, I go for cold plunges, I swim. These are all things I want to do. That it's not like I'm ticking off a list of habits you're
Mm.
supposed to do as a business leader. These are all my medicine. I go dancing with my friends, I sing, I have a cat who's sitting right here with me. He knows I'm doing an interview, so he comes in and sits with me. It's
Oh, how
beautiful.
gorgeous.
And these are all how I motivate myself, just by keeping myself going and uplifted, keeping my energy uplifted. Yeah,
I think that's really important because it really raises our vibration. So what you're talking about is staying in a high vibration,
that's right.
and that
That's,
keeps you going and going and
yeah,
going. Yeah, that
yeah,
sounds awesome. I love dancing. I mean, it's that's one of my favorite things as well. I
yes,
love dancing.
yeah.
Okay, so next up, I'm going to ask you, what is the best advice you have received recently?
Oh, okay, you've put me on the spot. Recent, does it have to be recent?
No, it could
Not
be the best
necessarily.
advice in your opinion or something that has stuck with you.
To trust my voice, to trust my message, because that was part of me stepping into my leadership, was trusting, did I actually have something as valuable or as necessary to say? Like, couldn't someone else say it, other people saying it better? So to trust my voice and my message. And
That
I get that. I got it a lot and I needed to hear it a lot. Yeah. Yeah.
that's great. So would you
Yeah.
say that that is one of the ways that you overcame that challenge of, you know, to do with your own leadership?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. You know, if someone else is, I mean, sometimes, yes, we're supposed to trust ourselves and access ourselves, but sometimes when we're doing the work in the world, we absolutely need to say to people, is this message landing? Is this what the
Mm,
world needs?
mm.
You know? And I think that was missing for me. And then having friends and then people in the workshop saying, you need to be on other stages, you need to keep sharing this. It's like, okay, even if I doubt myself, I'm going to keep going. Yeah.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Okay, so next up, I'm going to ask you about your favorite business tools and resources, like practical. I'm talking about practical tools,
Oh,
but
yeah.
obviously there are so many resources we use, not just a couple of the major ones that you recommend to our listeners and
Yeah,
viewers.
Tula, I keep it really simple. I use Canva for creating social media posts, and I don't use anything else. I use Eventbrite for my Humanitrix,
Humanity.
Humanitix for my ticketing, and then apart from that, I don't really use anything else. I might be getting a funnel, and that might be all I use. But Canva has been with me the whole time, and it allows you to create all sorts of marketing material and promote events. It's my
Canva
favorite
is
tool.
one tool that I use a lot as well. I do all my design on Canva. It's fantastic,
Right. Yeah, it's great.
especially now with the AI added to it as well.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, It's great. You can even create presentations and PowerPoint, everything
Yeah, and
on.
you can make reels in Canva and put the
Yeah.
word over the top, and yeah. And
Yes.
oh,
Very good.
have used one of my favorite AI apps is I created my brand song.
Oh,
And
oh my
so
God, I want
that,
to hear
yeah,
it. What
yeah.
is your
And
brand song?
well, it's I've written it. I've written the words, and then you choose the style, the genre of music, and then
Is
it
that on
puts the
Chat
music to it.
GPT?
No, I'll let you know. I can't remember what it's called. You get something like, I think it's 5 free goes, and you can download 3 of those. And if you sign up, you could sign up for a month and then stop, for example, if you wanted to do more. So I've done a brand song for She Talks and then a brand song for one of my workshops.
Okay.
Anyway, that song then goes into Canva with a reel. So I've got the music all the way behind it. My
Okay.
brand song. Yeah.
I don't know about our listeners and viewers, but I want to see it. Where do
Good.
we
All
see that?
right.
I want to hear it. Where is it? Where can we find it?
It's only when I post it. I have tried to put it up on Spotify so that I can share it easier. I
Uh-huh.
haven't worked that out yet. I have to work that out.
I can help with that.
Okay, good. I'll take you up on
That
that.
sounds great. I
Oh,
can't wait to
awesome.
hear it. Fantastic.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
sang this.
I didn't sing it. I can't sing. I would
Oh,
like to say, but I
you said you
wrote,
could sing before. Did you say that?
no,
You didn't. I thought you actually sang it.
no. I wrote the lyrics. I wrote the
Ah,
lyrics, and
okay.
then the app created the music, and it is a woman's voice.
Fantastic. I
Yeah.
love it. I have to hear that.
Oh,
That
good.
sounds great. I'm very excited about that one.
Okay, good.
Okay, so next up, I want to ask you, what are your current goals and how you're striving to achieve?
Okay. I have one big goal, and I've wanted this goal for 4 years, which is to speak on the Mind Valley stage. And I have applied, I pitched before, or they call it a proposal, and I never heard back from them the first time, and I was relieved. The second year,
Why
I
were
got,
you relieved?
because I wasn't ready, I was nervous, anxious,
Ah,
didn't know if my message was good enough.
aha.
Yeah, at that level. And then the second year, I actually heard from them and they said I wouldn't be accepted, which is still not a no, because that when they write to you, they say, don't give up, keep going. Many people like you have applied before, and now here's what they're doing. The third year, I got accepted, which was last year, but
Congratulations.
I couldn't go. I
Oh,
couldn't
that's
go. I
interesting,
couldn't make
isn't
it.
it?
I was already booked. And this year, I decided to go, and it's on one of their stages. I don't know which stage. And I'm really excited because it's my biggest dream. I'm ready, I'm excited, and I have enough kind of nervous energy that'll allow me to really just like really do my best. Yeah, yeah.
That sounds awesome. Congratulations. You know, there's a saying that goes, anxiety is excitement into action. I could, don't quote me on that, but it sounded great because, anxiety, people say, oh, it's fear, it's whatever. But, if you think about anxiety being excitement and putting it into action, it sounds, it's a lot more workable, I think.
Right. Well, it's
Don't you
not,
think?
it's not too much anxiety that it's immobilizing, and I've had that in the past.
Mm.
It's enough to make me know that I want to just really, I'm really motivated and driven. So I'm writing it. I've written the talk, but I'm looking at it every day. I'm really immersed in it every day.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't wait to say, well,
Yeah.
so you'll have to let us know where we can see or watch that as
Well,
well.
I'll be videoing it, don't you worry.
Yeah.
So it's about future proofing ourselves for the future,
Mm.
and that we don't need to be scared of AI because we're
Mm.
the technology.
Yes, we are. We
Yeah, we
absolutely
are.
are. That's a great message.
Yeah.
Okay, so your next question is, are you currently running any promos, contests, or giveaways?
I have a meetup for women speakers on the 21st of March, and it's at Birth in Docklands in Melbourne. And I
Okay.
take, there's 20 seats. 3 women get a chance to get up and deliver a talk, and I also take on one person to do the MC role. So it's so they can get experience. And
as
then
an MC.
I deliver a 10-minute spot talk about public speaking.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And we'll have a
Okay, so for
cocktail.
our Melbourne listeners and viewers, make sure you check that out, especially if you'd like to get on stage and speak and
Beautiful.
communicate to everyone what your gift is.
Yes,
Okay,
exactly.
so next up, I want to ask you what advice you would give to other aspiring female entrepreneurs.
Just think about your message and hone it and turn it into a big idea so that it doesn't sound like um, every other generic message like resilience or motivation. You want to turn it into that t-shirt slogan or that book title. It's
Yeah,
like confidence is inbuilt or authenticity and presence first. They're mine. And then you are ready to write your talk. But I want
okay.
women, and not even women who are speakers, I want women to really connect with what they want to leave the world with,
Yeah,
whether that's their children, their family, their community, and start speaking, start
yeah.
sharing. And not as it like you're coaching them, but just let people know what your message is that you'd like to leave the world with. That is your legacy. It's your
Absolutely, I
legacy.
agree.
Yeah,
And we each have a gift and something that we know that we sometimes take for granted and think other people know too, but they don't.
they
And it
don't.
can help. What you know is so valuable. Thank you
And
so
it's
much.
unique
That's
to
great.
you.
That's great.
Yeah, and we know when you say something, we could talk about the same topic, or we could both talk about authenticity, but Tula, how you deliver it will really impact some people more than how I deliver it, and vice versa.
And that's
So
right.
we have to
Absolutely.
share. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome. I love that.
yeah.
Yes. Yes, yes.
You're
Okay.
gorgeous.
Okay, so just one more question.
Okay.
How
All
can
right.
we connect with you?
Um, I'd say the best one is LinkedIn and Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you use as your handle?
What is my handle on LinkedIn? It's just She Talks,
She Talk?
SHETALKS. Now, I started She Talks in 2014. There's a lot of She Talks now. So mine's with capitals, with the SHE and the T. They're
So is it all
capitals.
one word or two words?
No, 2
Two
words.
words. She
Yeah.
Talks on LinkedIn. And what about Insta?
She Talks, own the stage.
Own the stage. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
Own that stage.
Yes. Whatever that is for you. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fantastic. And
Yeah.
you do really remind me of a famous American actress. I'm going to get back to you about who that is.
Okay.
Even
Yep.
your voice and the
Do you
way
mean
you
the one
speak.
from Kill Bill?
No, no, no,
Uma Thurman.
not Uma Thurman. No, no, it was no, it's not. And even your voice and the way you speak is
Ah,
very similar. I have
okay.
to now have to
Mm.
put my thinking cap on and do my research and get back to you because it's killing me. You
Excellent.
definitely,
Let me know.
it's such a likeness, it's incredible.
Ah,
But look, I want to thank you with all of my heart for being so open and sharing such an honest and um, harrowing story, but especially the message that came through so, so clearly about your own inner resolve, your own inner wisdom, and your inner strength that I think is the biggest message we heard today.
great. Thank you,
So
Tula.
I'm
Thank you
so
for the
grateful.
opportunity.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much and I wish you amazing success and I can't wait to talk to you again.
Thank you. Women, get out there and share your messages. We need them.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Well,
Thank
bye for
you.
now.
Bye
Bye
for
for
now. Bye, beautiful.
Thank you for tuning in to the Goddess Show podcast. We hope you've enjoyed it. And if you did, feel free to like, subscribe, share, and we look forward to seeing you next time.